6240 for 13000 yards.
Peterson, Alpha X-ray, roger, copy. Bring. Scorpion 702, Alpha X-ray, over.
Alpha X-ray, Scorpion 702.
Great, immensely powerful arms, each with its two rows of deathly suckers. Ooh, look out! That slithering death is right on you! He'll crush your bones into jelly! Look out, boy! Look out!
Many people, like this monk from a local abbey, say they've seen the real thing.
I was looking over there, quite idly really, and then I saw this hump, as it's usually described as, like a submarine.
240 for 13000 yards.
Peterson, Alpha X-ray, roger, copy. Bring. Scorpion 702, Alpha X-ray, over.
Alpha X-ray, Scorpion 702.
Great, immensely powerful arms, each with its two rows of deathly suckers. Ooh, look out! That slithering death is right on you! He'll crush your bones into jelly. Look out, boy! Look out!
Many people, like this monk from a local abbey, say they've seen the real thing.
I was looking over there, quite idly really, and then I saw this hump, as it's usually described as, like a submarine.
our first look at Ikoria, the latest expansion from Magic the Gathering. In this world, humans are not at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we're an endangered species.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Becca Scott. I'm here with my friend Josh Lee-Kwai, and we've got some incredible surprises in store for you today.
Sweet preview cards, a bunch of new mechanics, a whole slew of commander goodies, you know, that's my jam. And of course, we're introducing a new plane, Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths.
That's right. For the first time, Wizards of the Coast has partnered with Toho, the legendary Japanese film studio, creator of such classic movie monsters as Mothra, Ghidorah, and of course the biggest of them all, Godzilla.
Godzilla!
Yes! Okay, stay tuned. We've got so much in store for you. You ready to get started, Josh?
Let's go check it out.
Okay, come on. Look who it is, product architect Mark Heggen.
Hey, Becca.
Hey, Mark. So tell me about this set. It seems unlike anything you've ever done before.
Yeah, this is brand new territory for us. We have been wanting to do a giant monster set for a long time. All of our Magic sets have monsters, but we wanted to find a home to really dial them up to 11, have them knock over buildings, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but what about the partnership?
Well, we had been working on what giant monsters might look like in Magic. And then one day, our Japan team came to us with an idea. They sat us down and they said, what if Godzilla was in the set? And we said, well, yeah, sure, there's a lot of Godzilla energy and attitude. We got you covered. And they said, no. What if Godzilla was literally in the set? So they had our attention. They got on a plane, they flew to Japan, and they started a relationship with Toho Company, the people that have been bringing giant monsters to movie screens around the world for generations.
Right.
And so we're pleased to say that we now have a set that kind of merges the Godzilla world with a Magic world in a very kind of new and exciting way.
Yeah, Ikoria, Lair of
Yep.
Behemoths.
That's it.
It's no joke. All right, I want to show you guys so much more about this world, so let's go check it out. Oh my gosh, it's Principal Creative Designer Doug Beyer.
How's it going, Becca?
So good. How about you, Doug?
I'm doing great.
Okay, so looks like the team at Wizards really outdid themselves with Ikoria. What is this place?
Ikoria is a world of monsters. We get to showcase huge monsters all the way down to small monsters. This place is designed to show off why monsters are cool. So it's a playground of things to stomp, crush, destroy.
Okay, it sounds great for really big creatures, but I feel very, very small. What's it like for humans in this plane? Are they just always terrified all the time?
Most of them, yeah. They're just holding up in cities as best they can. They've built massive protected cities called sanctuaries, and the humans here do their best to use their magic and weapons, anything they can, to keep monsters at bay.
And we saw Vivian being super badass in the trailer.
That's true. Vivian is here. She has come to Ikoria.
Speaking of Vivian, can we see her? Can we show them?
Oh, you want to see a card?
I think they do.
Okay.
All right, we've got Vivian, Monsters Advocate. 3, a green and a green. She's a 3 loyalty planeswalker, and her static ability says you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Her +1 ability says create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Put your choice of a vigilance counter, a reach counter, or a trample counter on it. And her -2 ability is when you cast your next creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature card with lesser converted mana cost, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So Vivian is here. And I've also heard that maybe there's a new character?
That's true. That Vivian runs into a new character named Luca. He is a new Planeswalker character that's from Ikoria. So we'll get to see more later on about Luca.
I want to see more right now. We've got Luca, Coppercoat Outcast. His casting cost is 3 red and red. His loyalty starts at 5. His +1 ability says exile the top 3 cards of your library. Creature cards exiled this way gain, you may cast this card from exile as long as you control a Luca Planeswalker. His -2 ability is exile target creature you control, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with higher converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And his ultimate ability for -7 is each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. I've got a new Planeswalker crush. I love Luca. Tell me more about why he's here.
So Luca is here. He's part of the military. His job is to keep cities safe from monsters. But he's kind of torn because during the course of the story, he finds that he has this mystical connection with monsters. It's called bonding. And that means that you have this kind of emotional, empathic connection with a monster. Bonding is a huge part of Ikoria, and so the more that a human and a monster bond, the more that they bring out the best in each other. They grow, they gain new abilities, they mutate.
You say mutate. That feels like a very important word. What does mutate mean?
So monsters on this world mutate and change and grow in the presence of crystals. So these mystical crystals create this power, this force that causes monsters to mutate and gain new abilities.
So we've learned a lot about what happens here. This place seems to be growing and changing and evolving. What is actually going on within the story of Ikoria?
Right, so we're coming into Ikoria at a tense time. Creatures are mutating and hybridizing more than ever. The city of Draneth, which is the largest sanctuary in this plane, is being attacked on all sides. And Luca is there, stuck in the middle. He's formed this connection with this monster, but that's pulling away from his duties. He's actually in a relationship with Jarina, who's the daughter of the general, his boss. So he's stuck between worlds. He has to figure out what to do. Vivian is there as well. They're all gonna come together. It's gonna be a huge situation.
And where can people find all this lore if they want to read more of it?
You can learn all about this in this story that's gonna be written by Django Wexler. You can find it on Amazon.
Amazing. Check out that ebook on Amazon. Also, it sounds like Ikoria is not just a place for all this beautiful lore and these new adventures to take place, but also has some incredible new gameplay mechanics, and it looks like Josh has cornered Mark to dive deeper into that.
So Mark, I want to go back to something Doug mentioned a minute ago. It's this idea of bonding and the special connection between a human and a monster. Can you talk to us about what that means in-game for gameplay?
Yeah, so we have a brand new mechanic that expresses that same idea. It's called Companion.
I got an idea, actually. Yeah. What if, to make it easier for the audience to understand, we showed them a new card?
Show them a card?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And we just so happen to be here in front of Karuga Macro Sage. So
what
let's
a
take
coincidence.
A look. Creatures with Companion work in two ways. You can either put them in your deck and cast them as normal for their casting costs that you'd expect, or they have a companion ability, which is a special requirement, a deck building requirement. So with Karuga here, Karuga likes big things. So if you build your whole deck such that everything has a converted mana cost of 3 or more, or it's a land, so your whole deck kind of goes big, then Karuga is pleased and will be your companion.
What's that mean?
Well, if you meet that requirement, then Karuga can start the game outside the game and be your companion. After that, it's almost as if they're in your hand. So you can cast them out of that zone at any time. When you need them most, they can kind of swoop in and save the day.
Oh, I like this because it reminds me of something from my favorite format.
Absolutely, we're definitely trying to take some of that kind of commander vibe and attitude and kind of bringing that into draft or sealed or even standard.
Wow, that opens up a whole world of possibilities. So Ikoria is this realm, this world where there's just kaiju and monsters running around everywhere, right?
Right.
So I want to know, what are your favorite monsters?
Yeah, I like the variety. I like the little cute monsters. There's plenty of those. So we have cards like Gloom Pangolin.
You think this is cute?
Who doesn't? Look at this thing, a Nightmare Pangolin. It's what you've always wanted. And you can get a little bit bigger. We have stuff like Huntmaster Liger, so kind of a big ferocious cat beast. And then it goes all the way up to the top. So we have Aluna, Apex of Wishes, is an example of the big combination kind of super kaiju that we have in this world.
This is the top of the food chain.
Right, right. And actually, this is a good opportunity to explain what you're seeing here.
Yeah, there's 3 different versions.
Right, 3 versions of Aluna, Apex of Wishes. So you have the regular version. We also have a showcase version, so that's kind of an alt art, alt style.
Wait, hang on a second. I'm looking at the 3rd version here.
Right.
It doesn't say Aluna. That's not the name of the card.
Right, no, it says Ghidorah, King of the Cosmos.
What?
So this is one of our Toho creatures, and this is how they work. This is how we brought them in. From a rules perspective, it's the same card. You could have a total of 4 of any of these in your deck.
It counts as Aluna.
It counts as Aluna. It is Aluna. And you can even see we have a little frame. We have the Ghidorah up top, and then if you look underneath that, that's the rules name, Aluna. But the flavor name is Ghidorah. So this is how you can have that choice. If you like Aluna and you want to rock with her, then put her in. If Ghidorah is your guy, then this is your opportunity.
Just for the record, Ghidorah, that's what's going in all my decks.
Right.
Ghidorah.
Yeah, good choice.
All right, well, I'm sure astute viewers out there are thinking the same thing I'm thinking. On 2 of the cards we just looked at, 2 of them had the word mutate, a new mechanic. Can you explain to us what mutate is?
Yeah, so Ikoria is a world of giant, changing, evolving monsters. These crystals are powering them, so we had to make that play out in the game. So mutate is how that works. Mutate is a way to combine 2 monsters into one. You can cast a creature with mutate as you normally would. It just goes onto the battlefield. Or if you already have a creature in play that's not a human, because humans don't mutate, any other creature out there, you can mutate a card from your hand onto that. And when you do that, you kind of combine them into one super monster. So you put the new card either on top or below the monster that's already out there, and then at that point they're treated as one creature. So they have the power and toughness of whatever creature's on top. So you usually put the big one on top.
Gotcha.
But they have the abilities of all of the creatures put together.
So it's kind of like build your own monster.
Right, exactly. And you can keep going. So you can get 2 down, and then you can add a third and even a fourth to the
Oh,
pile.
you can mutate more than once.
Right, you can just keep chaining. And a lot of them have a mutate ability, which is something that triggers when they mutate, kind of either onto or coming out of your hand. So you can imagine if you get kind of a stack of these things, and then you add a fourth onto the pile, and all the abilities trigger, things get out of hand quickly.
Trigger, trigger, trigger.
There you go.
Hashtag value. You know, I like that.
Yep.
But it's not all new mechanics in this set. I've heard some rumors that maybe there is one returning mechanic. Is that
Yep,
true?
it's true. We have cycling. So cycling is in the set. It's a perfect fit here. We can put it on big spells or creatures, and if you draw them late in the game, you're ready to rock. If you want to get them earlier, you can cycle and get some new stuff. So cycling's back.
Cycling's such a great mechanic.
Yeah.
Makes any limited environment just so much smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so great. All right, before we go, I feel like we should talk about one more mechanic
Yeah.
here, and it might just be, you know, my personal favorite mechanic in the entire set.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah. We have ability counters.
Yeah.
You want to see one?
Oh, that's a really good idea. That's actually a rhetorical question. I do want to see
Good.
it.
Okay, good. So we'll take a look at Luminous Broodmoth. This is an example of how we're doing ability counters.
Oh.
They work kind of like you'd imagine. They go onto creatures, and then they give that creature an ability, like flying or trample, those kind of things.
How cool. So it's not just flying that it gets. It could get trample, hexproof, first strike.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of abilities in the set, and you can kind of mix and match them and find all kinds of combinations.
So it really is like build your own kaiju.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, very, very cool. Well, let's show everybody some more.
Yeah.
All right, it's the time, it's the moment that we've all been waiting for, or at least I've been waiting for. We're gonna talk Commander.
Finally here, yeah.
Mark, do you want to quickly explain for anybody out there who may not know what Commander is?
Yeah, Commander is our most casual, freewheeling format. You play with a group of friends around the table, you play with 100 cards at a time, and each deck is led by a commander who's the kind of leader of the deck.
So seriously, if you haven't tried it, you need to check it out.
Yep.
It's the best.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. Okay, so this year, y'all are doing something a little bit different though with the Commander product than you've done in the past.
We have a release of Commander decks, C20 is what we're on now, but this time we lined it up with Ikoria. So instead of having its own standalone creative, we just kind of welcomed it into the world of Ikoria. So it takes place in the world of Ikoria, it shows off that kind of creative and some of those characters, tells parts of the story, but with the Commander deck. So it all comes out as kind of a big Ikoria package.
I like this because it's gonna give me a chance to play with all the new kaiju that you've created.
Yeah, lots of new stuff to pull into your Commander deck.
Okay, so there's all these new cards coming out. They're just for
Yep.
Commander.
Yep.
You know what I'm gonna ask.
Yes, you can see some cards.
Yes, I like this guy.
Yeah, so we have, there's 17 new cards per deck. There's 5 decks. So this is the most new cards we've ever done for a Commander release. But right now, why don't we show you 5? Let's see the 5 face cards of the Commander decks.
All right, let's take a look. Okay, world meets Cathril Aspect Warper. 2, a white, a black, and a green for a 3/3 legendary creature, of course, Nightmare Insect. When Cathril enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on any creature you control if a creature card in your graveyard has flying. Repeat this process for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Then put a +1/+1 counter on Cathril for each counter put on a creature this way. Wow. Next up is Gavi Nest Warden, 2 blue, red, and white for a 2/5 legendary creature, Human Shaman. You may pay 0 rather than pay the cycling cost of the first card you cycle each turn. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 red and white Dinosaur Cat creature token. The next one is Jarina Kudrow, 1 red, white, and black, 4 mana total for a 3/3 legendary creature, Human Soldier. When Jarina Kudrow enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white Human Soldier creature token for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone this game. Other humans you control get +2/+0. And then we've got Calamax, the Storm Sire. 1, a green, a blue, and a red for a 4/4 legendary creature, Elemental Dinosaur. Whenever you cast your first instant spell each turn, if Calamax the Storm Sire is tapped, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Whenever you copy an instant spell, put a 1/1 counter on Calamax. And finally, we have Otrini, the Ever Playful. 3, a black, a green, and a blue for a 6/6 legendary creature, Nightmare Beast. But this commander has mutate. So if you pay 1, a black, a green, and a blue, 4 mana, if you cast this spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top plus all the abilities from under it. It also has trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, return target creature card with mutate from your graveyard to your hand.
There you go.
Oh, you know I could just stand here with you all day and brew around all these new commanders. I'm so excited. It makes me really want to play, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, Becca, you want to get a game in?
You know I do, buddy. But first, we need to talk about the monster in the room, Godzilla.
We do not want to ignore the king of the monsters.
You definitely can. He gets very testy when you do that.
It's true.
Okay, so working with our friends at Toho, did that impact the design process at all?
Well, the cool thing was the world building of Ikoria was already having things like Godzilla in mind. This classic movie monster vibe was part of the inspiration that went into the creation of the set. So when this partnership arose with Toho, it just all made sense.
Okay, but when you're putting in these classic movie monsters like Mothra, like Godzilla, how do you fit that into the existing world of magic and stay true to that?
The magic world building is always a huge part of our focus, so we want to make sure that that stays a huge part of magic all the time. But we want to create a situation where if people are excited about Godzilla and his friends, they can opt in by collecting these versions of those same creatures.
Speaking of style, I gotta talk about something I'm very personally excited about, which is the collector boosters that started happening with Throne of Eldraine. Are we gonna get more of that with the alternate card art?
Yeah, so in collector boosters and draft boosters, you'll be able to open these alternate art versions of all the mutate creatures in the set, plus some other goodies that are in those alternate styles. And we were always trying to bring a visual style that made sense with the theme of the world. So for this time, we've got this kind of like over-the-top movie poster, comic book style. It's line dependent, it's graphical, it's really in your face. So all these creatures come right out of the frame, right at you. And that's what we wanted to deliver for fans of that Boost Fun treatment.
It looks so awesome, and I think I speak for all the fans when I say this is going to be a truly epic expansion. Well, that's it, friends. We hope you enjoyed this peek into Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths.
I am so excited about this set. We got tons of new cards, new mechanics, new commander decks, huge monsters.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the battlefield.
Wasn't kidding, by the way. There's 4 of us. We could play commander right now.
How are we gonna get the new decks, though?
We work for Wizards, we have them right here.